Another busy week, another high protein and low calorie meal prep. I'm leaving for a vacation at the end of this week, so for my meal prep this week I wanted to use up all my groceries from my fridge and freezer so I don't come back to any spoiled food. So I challenged myself to get creative, use up all those odds and ends, and still stick to the meals that are high in protein, balanced and easy to put together. Let me show you everything I made. First up, I left some frozen shrimp in a baking tray to let them thaw. I'm planning to use these for dinner. Then starting with breakfast, I went with egg white bites. If you have watched my videos before, you know these are a classic in my meal prep rotation because they are so versatile and easy to customize. I started by greasing a muffin tray with oil spray. Then I used liquid egg whites. It's just so much faster than cracking eggs and separating the yolk. Into the egg whites, I added a pinch of Zaatar and Sumac. Now if you're not familiar with these spices, Zaatar is this Middle Eastern spice blend with thyme, sesame seeds and sumac. This combination is bold, tangy and it just makes everything better. As you can see, I didn't really measure the spices, I just went with my gut. And then I also cracked some black pepper on top and these egg whites were ready to go into the oven. I gave it a good stir and popped the muffin tray into the oven at 350 Fahrenheit for about 20 minutes. Now back to the shrimp. I ran it under cold water to defrost it a little more. I'm planning to use these in a burrito mostly because other than shrimp I need to finish up some tortillas in my fridge. I tossed the shrimps with taco seasoning blend and paprika. As you can see, again I didn't really measure the spices, I just trusted my hands and kept sprinkling the seasonings until the shrimp looked like it was fully coated in spices. Plus I also drizzled some lemon juice. Did you know that shrimp is about 90% protein by calories? It's like nature's gift to meal preppers. Since these shrimps are pre-cooked, I just put them in the oven for a couple of minutes just for them to soak in all the flavors. Next thing I needed to use up were these couple of tomatoes. They were on the verge of going soft anyway, so even if I wasn't going on a vacation I should have used them. So I thought I'd make Mexican rice to put in the burritos for dinner. I pureed the tomatoes in a food processor, then poured it into a big measuring cup and added enough water to make it a total of 2 cups of liquid. This is because I need exactly twice the proportion of rice. Then I washed 1 cup of rice. Trust me, don't skip washing rice if you want good texture. By the time I pureed tomatoes, shrimp were already done within those few minutes. I left it out to cool down. Then to cook the rice, I sprayed some oil in a pot, then added the washed rice to it and sauteed it for a couple of minutes to give it that crispy, toasty taste. I seasoned it with paprika, garlic powder and cumin powder and a pinch of salt and let it toast a little more with those spices. Then I added the 2 cups of tomato puree and water we prepared and gave it a good mix. Then I covered it with a lid and left it to simmer on medium heat. Moving on to lunch, I have to have a salad for lunch this week since I know for sure I won't be eating enough fresh veggies on my vacation. So this salad kit is the only grocery shopping I did this week. Salad kits are the real MVPs when you're short on time or just want to keep things low-key. These kits from Costco come in a pack of 2 and each packet has 2 servings, so I boxed them into 4 containers. I layered the containers with a paper napkin to soak in any extra moisture so the veggies remain crisp throughout the week. Even if you don't meal prep, it's ideal to keep fresh veggies in glass containers rather than leaving them in plastic since they stay fresh longer. Plus, I also had some cucumbers left in my fridge I needed to use. Pro tip, if you're washing the veggies right before chopping them for a salad, make sure to dry them with a paper towel to keep them from getting soggy. The salad kit came with sesame ginger dressing and some toppings including roasted sesame seeds and some nuts and stuff. I stored them in 2 separate smaller mason jars. Now for the protein for these salads, I turned to the freezer and found 3 different types of chicken in my freezer that needed to be used up. There was this crispy buffalo chicken strip, only 1 left but this bag has been taking up so much space. Plus these Mediterranean chicken skewers, again only 2 skewers left but taking up space. And these 2 grilled chicken bites that were hiding behind the mess in my freezer. So I will aim to use them all throughout the week and pair them with the salad for lunch. With that, the lunch was prepped. It's a simple lunch but it gets the job done. By this time the eggs were cooked. I took them out and left them to cool down. The rice was also cooked. It had soaked in all the water. I added some canned beans to them. Burritos are incomplete without beans. I rinsed 1 can of black beans to get rid of that salty coating it comes in and added them to the rice. While I was at it, I also added 1 cup of frozen corn, another thing I wanted to empty from my freezer. I gave it all a good mix, gently trying not to break the rice, and then left it to cool down. Shrimp was already cold by then, so I boxed it up in a glass container and then also boxed up the rice in a separate container and garnished with some cilantro. Every burrito needs a sauce, so I made a simple yogurt sauce using Greek yogurt and habanero hot sauce. I got this hot sauce from Trader Joe's. It's insanely spicy, so I have to dilute it with Greek yogurt to stomach it. So together these two things make a good balance of spicy and sour. I made it directly in a glass container. I was planning to store it in to save an extra dirty bowl. And with that, the dinner was done as well. Last thing I needed to do was box up the egg bites. I layered a box with a paper napkin, again to soak any extra moisture, then put the egg bites in there. Each of these egg bites are about 50 calories and 10 grams of protein, so I eat 3 of them to get 30 grams of protein each morning. As things started cooling down, I covered all the boxes with airtight lids and moved them to the fridge. I get a lot of questions on how I store and reheat all my meal prep so it still tastes good, so now I will show you a glimpse of how my final meals look throughout the week. For breakfast, I reheat the egg bites in air fryer. It's the best way to get that fresh texture back with a slight crisp on top. And along with it, I also toasted 2 pieces of bread in the air fryer for about 5 minutes. Then I buttered the toasts, one with regular butter, one with almond butter. I also like to eat fresh seasonal fruits with breakfast. This week I had oranges. Along with my morning coffee, this became a perfect balanced breakfast. For the lunch, again I used air fryer to heat the chicken. While the chicken was heating up, I prepared the salad, removed that paper napkin, added the dressing and toppings, and gave the box a good shake. Once the chicken got to the texture and temp I like, I chopped them into smaller pieces and added to the salad. Such a perfect meal full of fiber and protein. Lastly, for dinner, I layered a tortilla with the habanero yogurt sauce, then added cold rice and shrimp over them and rolled it into a burrito. Then I toasted it on a pan with some oil spray to give it a light crisp. I left it on medium heat for a few minutes so the components inside the burrito get warmed up as well. Once it was the texture and temp I like, I cut it into half and there my burrito was ready. This dinner was the highlight of my week. And there you have it, all my meal prep for the week and how I ate it to stick to my nutrition goals all week long. Let me know in the comments if you have any other questions about meal prepping. I'll be happy to answer it in my next video.